Hey everybody, it's Danita Ogondiga. It's 2018 and I'm going into my first hour of recording. Every time that we have tried to record this video, either the mic was broke or the video didn't record or something. But how many of you all know, in many ways, that's what a lot of people are going through, but you will never see that. You'll never let them tell you, and they will never tell you the realness of what they are going through. You know why? Social media, life has a way of making us feel as though we have to mask and cover up what we know to be true. In essence, we're living a lie and we're calling it the truth. And how many of you all know it is high time for us to understand and confront the truth that we do have issues. We do have things that step in our way, that try to block us. We have resistances, we have excuses, we have delays, we have denials, we have all of these things that we incur. But how many of you all know that none of those things were meant to stop us? We were meant to align. We were meant to walk into everything that we were supposed to be. We were created to be our highest self. You know, Robert Maslow, I believe that's his first name. I studied him ad nauseum when I was in school getting my master's in social work. He has a hierarchy of needs that talk about our basic needs all the way up to self-actualization. And how many of you all know a lot of times the enemy tries to use our basic needs as our only desire and our only push in this life, so that we will never be able to get to the point of achieving self-actualization. Because how many of you all know at the top of that hierarchy of needs, self-actualization is you coming into an understanding of who you are and why you were created. And that, in simple terms, is your destiny, your purpose. But frustration, fatigue, thoughts of failure, all of this fear that we are being incurred with by the enemy, by life, by situations that try to block us, all of these things have a way of trying to block us and keeping us on this basic level. How many of you all know, if you go to Walmart right now, you'll see that there are 27 lanes, but you only have 2 lanes that are open. But how many of you all know you got people that'll stand in line for 15, 20 minutes at one time because they are in need of soap. They are in need of toilet paper. They are in need of food and formula. And those needs will keep them in line forever. And they're willing to wait all night because they have needs. And how many of you all know, consequently, that's what the enemy does. John 10:10 is real. He comes to kill, steal, and destroy our dreams, our goals, our visions, our desires. He keeps us so inundated on the fact that we have to work in order to get a job, which we do. The Bible commands us to work. But how many of you all know when you come into toxic situations where you know that you don't need to be there anymore, that need takes over our desire, our purpose, our destiny. And how many of you all know many of us don't miss it because God is gracious, but many of us find ourselves like the children of Israel, turning around in the same place year after year after year after year when we were supposed to have been graduated from certain situations. I'm simply trying to stir you up in 2018. I can stir you up, yes, but you got to go to the kitchen, get the spoon, and stir your own self up and allow yourself to realize that we were, yes, created and we do have needs, but our needs were never meant to keep us on this level playing field. We were created to rise. We were created to go to the next level. We were created to look again. We were created to see things differently. And I'm challenging you in 2018 to allow God to begin to speak to you, to ignite those passions and those desires, those visions and those goals that you were created to do, that you have just settled for. You just allow yourself to come to this state of equilibrium. You don't want to rock the boat because things are so peaceful. You know the hell you just came out of. You don't want to try to go higher because you're in this comfort level right now. And I get it. I've been there. I've been there when I didn't have anything. And I remember when God blessed me with my first $500 after my parents passed away. I know what that's like to have a poverty mentality where you want to put $499 in the bank and only spend $1. And you're going to have this need where you're just constantly needing stuff, but you don't want to spend a dime because you don't know when you're going to get another dollar again. I know what that feels like. But I'm here to let you know that we were created for more. God is trying to take us to the next level. He wants us to come up higher. And we can't come up higher when we have the orphan spirit, when we have the orphan mentality, when we have the poverty mentality, and when we have that need base that we're constantly living in. There are so many people that are losing their jobs left and right. There are so many people that are losing their health. There are so many people that are going through crises. There are so many people that are having to deal with ignorant comments about where they immigrated from. It's so many things that so many of us are dealing with right now. And media is no help to that. Social media is no help to that because social media is telling you that you need to cover up. Abandon what you know to be true and follow what's popular or follow what's hashtagable and follow what the status quo wants. But I'm here to let you know it is not going to help you if you're trying to abandon what you know God has spoken to you and you're trying to follow what somebody else is doing. It's not going to help you if you're getting on social media, going on Instagram and flipping through the page, liking and liking and liking. That's not going to bring any glory to your situation. It's going to give you a desire to come up and to dream, but those things are not going to become practical until you put that phone down and take steps in the direction of the things that God has placed in your heart. God is the only one I know that can make you put your phone down. He's the only one that I know that can make you put your phone down in 2018 so that you can get real about why you were created. You know, in the middle of my husband coming back from the activation tour that we put on last year, after having the baby, we had said, okay, when he comes back home, we're going to take a vacation, take the kids to Disney. I was so looking forward to the vacation. And I was making plans, getting everything organized, getting everything packed up to go. And all of a sudden, the Holy Spirit dropped in my spirit and said, you know what, for the next 15 days, you're going to have a group. You're going to call it Alignment 2018. I said, yes, Lord. He said, I'm going to show you the women that you need to have in your group. They're going to sign up. They're going to come. These women are destined for greatness, but there are some challenges that they're dealing with in their situations right now. These women are just but a moment away from breakthrough and becoming everything that they were supposed to be in God. But these women, I'm going to send your way because I want you to help them with restoration, with grief, with trauma, with those anger issues that they've been holding on to. And how many of you all know when we got together in that group, these powerful women of God began to come, and just like a magnet, we synced up just like that. And God allowed us to be able to speak into each other's lives. We had playlists, we had exercises. I gave them hard work to do every single day. And it was amazing. We began to understand that there are things that as women, we allow into our atmosphere. We allow the fact that we are in toxic relationships of convenience where we know that these women that we're hanging around no longer serve us. They're not thinking higher that we're trying to think. But we don't want to be by ourselves and go to Krispy Kreme by ourselves or go to Starbucks by ourselves. So we link up with these women that we know are toxic. We realize that there are some things that we desire to speak to our husbands and our mates about. But because we don't want to rock the boat, we want to keep things stable. Because if we begin to express ourselves, things may get out of hand. You may be called the angry black woman. You may be called this or called that. But how many of you all know communication is what keeps a marriage together? And how many of you all know we begin to understand that through these things, we were breaking down and realizing that all the service that we were giving to our church was exhausting us and fatiguing us. It's nothing wrong with serving in a church, but when that becomes your sole preoccupation above what you're supposed to do in your household, there is a problem. And many of them began to say, Danita, you know what? I've been living a lie and calling it the truth. And I know that this has been nothing but a distraction. And I'm ready to realize the truth so that I can walk into what God has called me to walk in. And you know what? The benefits were awesome. For 15 days, we got together and shut it down. We shut social media, outside distractions down. And we mentally purged and we cleansed our spirit, mind, and our being so that we could be able to be better for our families, be better for our communities, be better for the society in which we live. So that when we do go onto social media, it's not saying, oh, I'm blessed and highly favored, everything is good. No, today is not so good. But you know what? Tomorrow is going to be great. And by the end of this day, I'm going to have the resolutions that I need for this day to end great too. And how many of you all know it's time for us to be able to come into truth? It's time for the elephants in the room to be addressed. We don't want to give them a biscuit and have them sit down with some water. No, we want to get the elephants out of the room, and that's going to require confrontation. And I'm challenging you to join my next group that starts January 22nd. We've done something phenomenal this time. We've extended the group to a whole month. So we will have 30 days plus of actual work where these women are coming in and saying, you know what, I want to sign up for the Mental Purge Challenge. I want to get off of social media. I want to cleanse these lies that I've been living. And I want to take the mask off. And I want to say, here I am. And I want to get myself restored and built up so that I can then go into my family, into my community, into my society, into the marketplace, into my mountain of influence, so that I can begin to make a real change and a real difference. I'm telling you, with all of the change that you know, the self-actualization, the identity in Christ that God is giving you, you're going to face resistance, just like I faced resistance trying to record this video. But you know what? I said, you know what? This may be the fourth time recording, but I'm going to sit in this chair until we get a produced video. And I'm encouraging you to do the same. Press. As my sister Octavia Roberts said, press beyond the pressure. I'm giving you an invitation to look again at your situation, to see things differently. Whereas we're into the 13th day and you fail already, it may be because of fatigue. It may be because of fear. It may be because the thoughts of failure are constantly tormenting you and you need to get some rest. You need to get that fear in its proper place through meditation, and you need to get that fear of failure erased and replaced with something of victory. I'm encouraging you to sign up for my 30-day program, Alignment 2018. I'm encouraging you to sign up. I will see you on the other side. Classes start January 22nd. Make sure you're there. It's time to stop living a lie and calling it the truth. God bless you.